Okay, so the third video, or the third thing that we're going to learn about is transversals. So let's look at some vocabulary first. So the first thing that we need to do before we even start is that we're going to label some parts of our lines down here. I know that yours looks kind of different than mine. It's only because I made the picture be under each set of vocab words. So first of all, up here, anytime it's talking about the exterior, it means outside of the parallel lines. Yes, you need to write this down. Anytime it's talking about the interior, it means inside the parallel lines. And we're going to name the parallel lines A and B. And then this line that's cutting across them is T, which is our transversal. So anytime it's talking about a transversal, it's a line that cuts through two parallel lines. So we're going to go through these vocab words. I'm color coding mine. If you don't have different colors, you can use different shapes to make sure that you know which angles we're talking about. So the first thing we're looking at is corresponding angles. So corresponding angles lie on the same side as the transversal, on the same side as lines A and B. So an example of this would be angle 2 and angle 6. Because they're both on the same side of the transversal, they're both on the right of the transversal, and they're both on top of the parallel lines A and B. So our example is angle 2 and angle 6. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and keep these circled just so y'all are aware of what I'm looking at. Okay, the next word that we're going to look at is alternate interior angles. Alternate interior angles are non-adjacent. Oh wait, hold on, I want to go back. One thing that you need to know is corresponding angles are congruent. Congruent means that they are equal. So the measure of angle 2 and the measure of angle 6 would be equal. Okay, sorry about that. No, that's not what I want. Okay, so they're non-adjacent angles. So that means they're not right next to each other. They lie on opposite sides of the transversal between lines A and B. So an example of alternate interior angles, first of all, they're going to be on the inside, right? And they're going to be on opposite sides of the transversal. So 4 and 5, angle 4 and angle 5 would be alternate interior angles. So they're also congruent. Yes, you need to highlight or underline or box that so that you remember. All right, the next one that we have is alternate oh Lord, that's not working out what I wanted. Okay. Exterior angles. So these are angles that are on opposite sides of the transversal, but they're outside of lines A and B. So they're on opposite sides, but they're outside. So 1 and 8 are on opposite sides of the transversal. Remember, this is the transversal, but they are still on the outside of lines A and B. So angles 1 and angle 8 is what we're looking at. These are also congruent. Just so you know, these aren't the only examples of all of these different types of angles we're looking at. These are just, I want us to show one example, because if we show more than one, then sometimes our page gets all crowded. All right, and the last one, we'll do in purple. Okay, these are same side interior angles. Same side interior angles are on the same side of the transversal between lines A and B. So that would be like 3 and 5. They're on the same side of the transversal. They're both on the left of the transversal, and they're between A and B. So these, we have angle 3 and angle 5. Another example of this would be 4 and 6. But the important thing is to know that these are supplementary. So all the other ones that we've looked at have been congruent. These are supplementary. So that means that angle 3 and angle 5, if we add them together, they're going to equal 180 degrees. Okay, and that is all for your notes.